Weather changes all the time, and it really helps to be flexible when you have ideas that you want to get done. Luckily, I have a really long list of videos that I want to do, whether it's before the end of the year, not really, I've only got maybe 3 more videos before the end of the year, and what I want to do in 2022. And so earlier this week, I charged up the batteries in the Mini 2. I was really stoked about having my day off today on Friday. I was going to go out, maybe try and do some flying. Even if it was cloudy out, you know, it'd be the perfect time to get some really good footage of Columbia County. Maybe I'd go across the river over to Aiken County. But I woke up this morning to the beautiful sounds, pitter-patter, the gentle soothing of a December rain here in Georgia, and I had to change my plans. But it ended up working out for the best, so it forced me to stay inside, and actually it forced me to go outside and try some things, get some really cool little B-roll that you hopefully saw, and try out the 240 frames per second in 2.7K, the 120 frames per second, because rain and running water is perfect for that, and it's a lot of fun. I'm absolutely soaked right now, but that's not the worst thing that can happen. And before I go any further, it's always fun when I find out new features on something I've owned for a while. Take this GoPro selfie stick kind of multi-use tripod piece. It's got that tripod in, it extends. It's got a locking button. I have owned this for several years now, and I thought the only way to use the tripod on it was to put the tripod out, set it up, put the camera on this part here, and extend it balance-wise. And when I was getting ready to do some of my B-roll for this footage, I pulled and the tripod bottom came off, and I was really, really scared that I had just broken a piece of equipment. I suddenly looked at it, and it's got a thread on it. And so I realized this actually had another attachment to be able to put the GoPro right on top like that. And it's like, how have I not known about this for however many years I've owned this thing? I've taken countless trips with it, and one of my knocks was having to take this and put the camera down, upside down, to get low footage, when all I had to do was pull this off and set it down. So check your equipment a little bit more often than I do, apparently, and maybe read and watch some more tutorials on some of these pieces of equipment, because you might learn something. So I just put out a video about which I would recommend, whether it was the GoPro Hero 10 or the Insta360 Go 2. And overall, I say that I recommend the GoPro Hero 2. And the main reason is that I feel the functionality, the ability to use more batteries, more memory, and all that kind of thing make it still a step above the Go 2. And while I was filming all that, I got to thinking, GoPro should probably start to rebrand, and maybe they need to reach out to Blackmagic and buy the Pocket Cinema Camera name. Now, again, I'm probably gonna get lit up in some of these comments, because people, you know, there are Blackmagic fans, and they're just like, they're all about Blackmagic, and there are fans about GoPro who say, no, this is an action camera. One of the things that I feel GoPro does well but not so well is they market themselves and their cameras as the perfect action camera, or the top action camera. And that's all well and good, but you are marginalizing, you know, what this camera can do. And I feel that there are 5 other uses that the average Joe like myself would maybe use this camera for, and so here are those 5 options. Number 5, I've actually seen this used a couple times as a webcam or a streaming cam. I saw a video by somebody, they were testing it being connected to their phone, and then connectivity of being able to stream to YouTube with a GoPro on a selfie stick while out around, I believe they were in Melbourne, Australia. And then I have a friend who has actually, the camera on his MacBook Pro went out. So rather than spend the time to be without a computer and everything, he just went ahead and put this on a tripod, and he was able to use the USB-C to his MacBook Pro to conduct his Zoom interviews and things like that. So for streaming and for other things, this is a great option. Number 4 is for vlogging. There are some attachments that really help with wind reduction. It already does a pretty decent job, I feel like, in camera doing capturing audio. But if you get some of these attachments that help with the wind reduction, you can actually vlog with this, especially now that they have that front facing screen. And then you throw in a selfie stick and everything, it makes it a lot easier, a lot more compact to vlog, especially if you're doing like a travel vlog. One of my favorite YouTubers recently has been Peter Lindgren, and he talks about vlogging out in public and how he uses a smaller point and shoot camera rather than his big DSLR to get footage if he's out in the supermarket, if he's in the weight room, things like that. And I feel like the GoPro would be a perfect addition or a perfect substitute for a point and shoot, because it's smaller, you do have that screen to be able to set it up, and it's really great quality. So I feel like you could also vlog with this pretty well. Number 3 is kind of along the same lines. It'd be for family outings. My daughter recently turned 1 a few weeks ago, and one of the things that I did, and I haven't shared the footage of it, is she loves this camera. She loves that camera. She loves my tripod. It's really fun to see her explore new things. And so because it's a GoPro, I was like, it's an action camera. Here, take it. And she took it, and I had her running all around and just having some fun. And it really did test the image stabilization of that, but it's a great way to capture family moments. I know I said the Go 2 was a little easier to like put it on a ball cap, spin it around, press the record button. You're getting the cute things real quick, what the kids are doing. But if you're not careful, the settings, you could limit yourself to certain little bursts, whether it be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even less. Or you could miss and not know if you're recording or not. The little red button tells you you're recording. And so it's just, I feel like this is a great thing that you could either do yourself and be like, oh, look at that cute thing, and you've got the screen now, you're able to see what they're doing a lot easier. But then at the same time, because it's an action camera, because it's, you know, so sturdy, you have almost no qualms about giving it to a kid and say, hey, let me see your point of view on this walk. Let me see your point of view at the zoo, that kind of thing. Obviously, you don't want them to lose it. You don't want it to go in the water and be lost to the tides of time. You don't want it to break and shatter if they were to find that one way that it could just fall and break your screen or something. But I feel like it could be very well easily marketed to families and be like, hey, never miss a moment. Number 2 is it's just a great, like I said, a pocket cinema camera. Again, I know that that is the title of some Blackmagic cameras, that one line that they have with the Pocket 6K, the 8K, the 4K. It is so easy to use this in 120 frames per second, even 60 frames per second, or yeah, even 60 frames per second, and not get any bad footage. You're able to just get really crisp, smooth footage. You can, with the steady, you don't need a gimbal anymore. You can do a nice, slow, easy pan. You can do all sorts of things. And again, it's nice, it's compact, you can take it almost anywhere. But I do feel like they could market this a little bit better towards cinematic footage for your vlog, for some reviews, things like that, for your vacation. So it's not just cinematic for action. And finally, the number 1 thing that I see them advertise it a little bit, but I don't feel like they pump it up enough, and it is my absolute favorite feature. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I've started to incorporate this a little bit more. When I got my 3 Plus, I was amazed at the ability of that one to do this, but now this makes it even easier, and that is time lapse. They have night lapse mode, they have hyperlapse mode, they have all sorts of settings that you can now change that I couldn't change on my 3 Plus. And it records for longer than my RP does. You can do all sorts of different things with it. I have actually left this overnight to try and get the sunset over a certain object and then the sunrise over that same object. And as long as you're careful and know where you're putting it and kind of hide it a little bit, I haven't had any issues of somebody walking off with it. But I feel like the time-lapse features on this make it so much easier than the RP, so much easier than some DSLRs to set up. You literally press a button over to time-lapse, you choose your settings, and then the night lapses are getting so much more beautiful. I cannot wait to take this out to Yellowstone, to Grand Tetons, to Glacier, to some of those, and see what I can get with that. So there you go. Again, that's just my opinion, and I know there are lots and lots of opinions out there, but I feel like it's almost time, or maybe past time, for GoPro to remarket themselves less of an action camera and more as a pocket, cinematic, B-roll, whatever you want to call it, camera, and make it not such a niche market and open it up a little bit to what other people may want to do with this. Because when they unveil the new cameras, I'm always amazed at the windsurfing, the surfing, the scuba diving, all those other awesome motocross shots that this can do. But at the same time, not all of us can do that. So it would be kind of cool to see them say, hey, vlog with it. Hey, take it on your next family vacation. Never miss a shot. Get those beautiful time lapses, that kind of thing. I feel like it would be a lot more fun if GoPro were to start advertising this a little bit more as an all-in-one camera and less as the #1 action camera. So those are my thoughts on this rainy Friday. Like I said, it's nice to have the ability to kind of change my plans and stay here in the nice, warm, dry inside of the house, even though I do have to go out to work here in a little bit. But I hope you all had a great weekend, because this will probably be coming out after Friday. So I hope you had a great weekend, are off to a great week, and I'll catch you in the next video.